is just so hard to like be excited and be hopeful for a job opportunity just to keep on getting rejected over and over and over and over again.
And unfortunately, that's the only experience I have. So if some person tells me to go back and spend more to go into more debt for another degree that might work, maybe, possibly, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that, because that's not useful.
Mentally, corporate destroyed my nervous system. The thought of looking for another job is stressing me out.
This job market is absolutely absurd. You spend day and night applying to jobs that don't respond, getting in line with company culture just to get fired, and you make it to the final stages of interviews just to be told you're not the one. This stuff is exhausting.
I just got a rejection after a really good final interview, and I think I might be done applying for jobs now. I just can't believe I even let myself be excited about this opportunity. It is just so hard to like be excited and be hopeful for a job opportunity just to keep on getting rejected over and over and over and over again. I literally don't think I can do this anymore. Honestly, the last thing I want to hear is people telling me like there's something better for me out there. Because how long is it gonna take?
Oh my gosh, stuff like, yo, listen, I understand her pain completely, bro. Nothing's worse than looking at your emails, seeing the place that you apply, email you back talking about unfortunately as the first line. Stuff like that really gets you frustrated. Like, I understand her pain. At this point, she's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm doing all the things that I'm supposed to do. I'm at the final stage of my interview and I still can't lock in a position. That stuff is stressful. It's stressful times right now for people. In all honesty, that's absolutely absurd. I feel bad for her. I hope she's able to sort things out. But let me know what your experience is with the job market. Have you been applying? I know for me, I've been applying for so long and things have been looking absolutely bleak out here. On to the next one.
Not this December, last December, December 2024, right after I got married. And then I got a job this last August after being unemployed for like 8 months. And then I also got laid off from that job. So it's going great. It's going great. If anyone knows anything about how to get a job in this economy, in this type of, is the worst field to be in is probably sales and marketing, but here I am. Unfortunately, that's what my degree is in, and unfortunately, that's the only experience I have. So if some person tells me to go back and spend more to go into more debt for another degree that might work, maybe, possibly, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that, because that's not useful.
In all honesty, she's not lying. Look, come on, let's be real here. Say you're say you're like 35 or like you're in your 40s and then you get laid off back to back in like an 8-month time span. You get laid off back to back. Everyone's coming up to you talking about, hey, just go back to school, spend another 3 to 4 years in school again at your strong age of 40. Not that that's a bad thing. It's not like you can't do that. Obviously, like, people exercise those options clearly. But what I'm saying is you're like a strong 40, strong 30s. Things are looking a little shaky for you. And then the advice that you're given is to go back to school, spend another 3 to 4 years learning a completely new skill that might even become obsolete, especially in this day and age. By the time you get out, you're gonna have to re-up on skills again. It's a never-ending cycle. And honestly, I kind of agree with her. She's like, do not tell me that advice. Like, I'm not trying to hear that. We have to push that back a little bit because she's real. That's very real.
Go into more debt for another degree that might work, maybe, possibly. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that, because that's not useful. I'm this close to signing up to be in the military. Yeah. Laid off.
Yo, honestly, and a lot of people, when your back is against the wall like this, especially in this job market, especially something as critical to your survival as working, you need money to work, to survive, to do the things that you're looking to do. Shorty's back is up against the wall talking about, yo, I might even have to join the army just to be able to take care of things. That's absolutely wild, bro. But I'm sure like that's a mindset that a lot of people kind of have, or they think about when their back is against the wall, getting laid off back to back like that. That stuff is absolutely absurd. She also mentioned something very important regarding the debt. Oh, I'm not going to go back to school for another, 3 to 4 years and collect more debt at my ripe, strong age of late 30s. I'm not saying that she's 30. That's just the example that we took. Clearly, she's like in her early 20s, mid 20s, something like that. But yo, no one wants to go into more debt without certainty of employment or certainty of like financial freedom or the ability to pursue something like that, to be able to take care of themselves, their survival. Beyond survival, the ability to be able to thrive. No one wants to go into more debt. If they're going to go into debt, they want to make sure that it's at least secured that, hey, I'm actually going to get something when all this is over. Okay, this debt isn't going to mean much. It's 40, 50, 60,000, whatever it is, isn't going to mean much in the long run. Absolutely absurd. Would you guys go into debt to be able to re-up on your skills, give yourself a chance at the job market? I know that's a route that a lot of people go. They get certificates, they go right back to school. And a lot of people don't even exercise those options. They just go like the entrepreneurial route and they're like, I'm going to figure something out. You guys let me know. On to the next one.
Since being laid off from my corporate job, I'm really starting to recognize how much I tied my self-worth and my self-identity to a job. I'm realizing that I was drinking a little bit of the corporate Kool-Aid, which is the corporate handcuffs, right? You got the fancy job title, you have the salary that matches, you have the benefits, which I will say, like, fully remote job, can't beat it. And I really thought that would make me more respectable, people would take me more seriously, and I definitely did notice like a change in people's face when they would ask me, oh, what do you do for work? And when I was in pharmaceuticals, they would be like, oh my God. We very much live in a society where people ask you what it is that you do for work, and I think they're doing that in a sense of trying to size you up, figure out how much respect they're going to give to you, if they should take you seriously, if you will fit in their social circle, whatever it may.
Oh my Lord, she nailed it right on the head. Because guys, when I tell you guys, I used to work at Apple, and literally my job title was product specialist. And because it was the Apple store, a lot of people didn't really take it serious. And then I got my first real job in corporate America, where I was doing inside sales at a different tech company, and my job title became enterprise sales representative or enterprise business development. And whenever I told people that title, when people would ask me, everyone would be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I'm like I'm really just a salesperson, guys. Like, there's nothing that crazy about it. Like, I'm just a salesperson. This sense of self-importance comes from these job titles that in this day and age, things are getting replaced by AI. Everything's getting replaced by AI. These are jobs that AI can do. Sales and marketing, AI can do these things. And a lot of companies are shifting their management, getting rid of people who do these roles. People like me who used to do these roles and things of that nature. At that point, what does your job title even mean, really?
And I think a lot of this stems from, like, of course, everything leads back to childhood. I grew up as like the fat, nerdy kid who was in band. And when I got my first job when I was 14 going on 15, I was like, okay, making my own money feels really good. We got to make sure we make a lot of money when we grow up. But now that I have lost said career, or it's more so on pause, I'm doing a repivot and figuring out what it is I want to do with next steps, since I'm taking this as a sign to really go a new path. I now feel naked without having a job title that automatically assigns some kind of value to me. And I'm realizing how much I wrapped myself into having a job, and how the title was that important to me that for some reason I allowed it to determine my value in some way, even though a job does not determine my value whatsoever. So now I'm on this journey figuring out who I am without having a job, because this job market shit anyway. I'm seeing people on LinkedIn from my old agency who were laid off. They've been looking for a job for over a year. And I'm like, Jesus. So
Yo, it's absolutely crazy. There's literally this woman I know, her daughter is she's like a chemical engineer or like a mechanical engineer, something like that. And she hasn't been able to find a job for over 2 years. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, yo, just off the strength of what she has her degree in, you would think she'd highly sought after in any job market. It don't matter what job market we're in. You would expect somebody like that to be highly sought after. For 2 years, she's unable to gain employment. That stuff is absolutely wild to me. Absolutely wild. And you got to understand, like, people be losing their jobs and their whole identity is based off of the job, guys. I remember one time I had called one of my family members, and we were on FaceTime, and I had I'm looking at him where we're talking, and I'm like, yo, the energy feels a little bit off, bro. Is everything all right? My man was like, nah, I just got laid off. I said, dang, bro, that's tough. In my heart, I was like, dang, like, I've been there. I know exactly how my man feels, bro. You're gonna make it over. But my man literally got a master's degree to be able to do the role that he's doing right now, and he just got laid off. His identity was essentially tied up into that role. People's identity get tied up into these roles. So when they get fired, it's like their life is over, essentially. When your identity is that tied into something and you lose it, you don't just lose that thing. You also lose a part of yourself too, especially if you didn't cultivate an identity for yourself outside of the job. You sipping that corporate Kool-Aid. That's what she's talking about. That stuff is absolutely absurd.
I'm preparing 6 months to a year till I find another job, but like I did on my last video, mentally corporate destroyed my nervous system, and the thought of looking for another job is stressing me out. My cousin's been sending me links and I'm looking at the job description. I'm like, hell no, I don't think I want to work right now. And thank God I don't have kids, so I don't have to go hard and try to jump back into it. But yeah, now I'm figuring out who the heck is Cheyenne without the corporate fancy job title, what is next for me professionally. And if you've been through this before, being dismissed from corporate or left on your own and just, I don't know, I don't want to call this an identity crisis because it's not that serious.
Hey,
But in the same breath, I'm like, this unhealthy attachment to a job. How the heck did you push through this? Like,
absolutely absurd. Listen, have you guys had that kind of experience where you loved your job so much and then you lost it? And then you almost felt like you was going through some sort of like existential crisis. Like, yo, who am I again? I have to like go scavenge the pieces and put myself back together again. I know that happened to me, especially when I got let go from my first job. Like I completely was just annoyed and just frustrated, and I was like, yo, who is the guy right now? Absolutely crazy. I appreciate you guys immensely for hanging out with the guy today. Listen, this job market is absolutely tough. People getting laid off left and right, people going through identity crisis. It's absolutely ridiculous. But listen, I hope things, pan out for the better, because the future sometimes, especially in this state that we're in right now, it's looking a little bleak. And I hope things, get better soon, like really soon for a lot of people, because people's identities are on the line, people's livelihoods are on the line, and people's minds are on the line. We do not need anyone going crazy out here, but it's looking real weird. Listen, that's it for me. I'm gonna catch you guys really soon. Y'all be safe out here. Peace out.